Hello everyone, this is Witch Calypso and this little guy above me is Bubbles, and we're going to be doing an RPG Maker tutorial today. The purpose of these tutorials is going to be more for an intermediate level, as I will be using script calls and showing the power that they have, in addition to just JavaScript code. If you check the description below, there is a link that'll take you to a Excel sheet for script calls that are unique or specific for RPG Maker MV and MC. So let's get started. I have this gumball set up here. That's going to give the player a different, gumball, a different colored gumball. I know this doesn't look like a gumball machine, but it's like, just play with me. Humor me for a bit. So let's look at the code. Okay, so this first line here, this is setting up a temp array. The temp array is basically just saying, hey, this is a variable, and then equals. If you set up these brackets here, this is what tells the game that this is supposed to be an array. This array is full of strings. By putting these words between quotation marks, this makes it a string. Now, you can also just do like, I'm just gonna set up num array equals open close bracket. If I just do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is a string, or sorry, this is an array of integers, but we want strings. So the next thing here is size. Once again, this is another temp array. It's going to equal temp array right here, dot length. Dot length is going to return the size or length of this array. In this case, the length is going to be 4 because there are 4 items in the array. And then down here, once again, we have x. This is another temp variable. Is going to be equal to math.randomInt based on the size, which is this variable right here. So it's going to get 4 here. And as a reminder, these are a little bit weird. So math.randomInt, if it's given 4, it's going to give a number between 0 and 3. So either 0, 1, 2, or 3. In addition, with arrays, they work the same way. The first index of this array is not 1, this is 0. So red is 0, blue is 1, green is 2, and yellow is 3. But the length of the array is 4, but it starts counting at 0. So just a reminder. And then this down here is just a standard script call for RPG Maker MV and MC. But it's going to tell game variables.set value of 1 equal to temp array at that index. So if this one gives us like 1, then x is going to equal 1. Temp array brackets mean that we want the index of the array at that integer. So if it gives us 1, it's going to return blue. If it gave us like 3, it will return yellow. If it gave us 0, it would give us red. And then we have this here, which is, once again, this is like control characters. In case you don't know how those work, there's just like a list here. There's a list of control characters your game can have, where you can basically just tell the game to show like a variable, an actor name, party member, currency, text color, icon, etc., etc. So this is just telling the game to show whatever is in variable 1, show that, which in this case is going to be a string. So if we play, we got a blue gumball, blue, red, red, green, red. So yeah, there you go. It gives us a random gumball. Not what I wanted. Okay, so pretty simple, right? And the beautiful thing about setting it up this way is that it's very modular, and that it's gonna, if you ever want to change this array, like let's say we want to add like purple, pink, those are good. Then this is going to properly update itself. It's going to get a new length based on the length of this array, and then it will include purple and pink in the probability of things that we can get out of the gumball machine. And if you ever want to like make it to where certain items are more likely to pop up than others, then you would just do something like this. And we just make it to where red shows up 3 times, blue shows up 1 time, basically making it so that there's a 75% chance that you get a red gumball and a 25% chance that you get a blue gumball. This could be helpful in your projects for like, if you want to like a gotcha, a little gotcha mechanic, that's a good way to do it. I use it in my projects. If it's like I work on a roguelike, and I use this for like room options, so maybe the next room the player gets is either going to be like a trap or an event or this, you know, I use it for that as well. So there's a multitude of ways that you can use this code, so many options. Now, let's say that you wanted to have a little bit more control over the array and maybe take things out of it, right? Like, let's say that, oh, okay, well, we got, the gumball machine only has so many gumballs in it. So eventually it's going to run out, right? We can do that. Although this time I'm going to change it to a chip machine. So this is like a chip machine. It gives out chips, corn chips, spicy, sweet, and sour cream. Let me pull this up so you can see it better. However, because we do want to keep better track of this array, we need to establish this as an array before we even like work with this code. So I have an event here that basically is going to reestablish this array and the contents of it before the game even starts. This is a good practice that you want to do. Basically just set up the array here and then do self switch A and it turns it on and it goes here. Basically nullifying this event. It only runs once to establish the arrays and then never again. And then if you go here, once again, this first call, if, is going to get the length of variable array 2, which is the, you know, corn, spicy, sweet, sour cream. If the length of that array is 0, then we basically just tell it to restock itself, reset. And then everything down here is what we've already been over. So, you know, temp array here, it's going to set it equal to the array. Size is the length of it. X is going to be the random integer of the index that we're looking for. Game variables.set value of 1 equal to the index that we got for the RNG. So that's the same. The new thing we're going to include here is splice. .splice. How .splice works is that the first index there, the X, basically is telling it where in this array we want to start removing things. And then the second number, the 1, is saying how many items we want to remove starting from that position. So if we got spicy, then X is going to be a 1. So it's going to say start at 1, integer 1, or index 1, which is spicy, remove 1 item. So it's going to remove the spicy from the array. So all that's going to be left is corn, sweet, and sour cream. And then we just need to recall it here. Game variables.set value of 2 equal to chip temps array. Basically to update the array to the new array. Spicy is no longer in the inventory, so it's just these 3. Let me show you. If we go over here, we get a bag of sour cream chips, and then down there I have it set up to where it shows the remaining items of the array to show that the code is working. So we have sour cream, corn, spicy, and sweet is all that's left. We got spicy chips, corn, sweet is all that's left in the array. We get sweet, and then corn's the only thing that's left. We got corn chips, and now there's nothing left. And because there's nothing left, the length of the array is going to equal 0. Therefore, the if statement is going to be proven true, which is going to reset it. And then, once again, we're back to where we were. Boom, there you go. And once again, there's a multitude of ways that you can use that as well. And now this third one here is an alcohol machine. It's going to give us a can of some kind of alcohol. Once again, I want to keep track of this array, so I set it up here beforehand, pre-establish it for wine, beer, whiskey, and vodka. This one, I'm just going to show you all how you can kind of actually give the player an item. Once again, this code is the exact same thing that we've been using before. This is just for the visual aspect of the game, so the player can tell what they got. And then this down here is the actual, well, we need to actually give the player the thing in the first place. I'm using a switch case, but you are free to use an if-else statement. My general rule is that if the thing that I'm looking for or checking for, if there's like 3 or more things, then I use a switch case. Anything less than I use if-else. So you just set it up simply. You do switch and then alcohol array, and then X is once again getting the index of the array that we called, right? And then case, and then break. So case is basically saying that, basically view it as an if, right? So like in case of wine, then game party.gain item, data items 2, 1. Give us one of the item in the item database that is in the second position. So in this case, in my item database, it's wine. The third one's beer, whiskey, vodka. So that's how that works. And then make sure whenever you do this, this break here is important because it basically tells the software, if this is proven true, then stop, don't check anything else below this. Break out of this switch case and don't do anything else. You don't necessarily always have to. There might be a case where you might want the game to check every single case and do what it needs to do for as many cases that are proven true. In that case, you just don't add the break. You simply just don't include break. But in this case, I want it to, like, as soon as the character gets an item, don't give them any more. And you can even add on to this, by the way. If you want to add on the splice command to this, just go ahead and do that. It's the same logic. You would add it down here. Once again, you just add the splice, like here. To like this line of code to where it removes the alcohol you just got from the array, and then you would need to add in the if statement to replace it once it's empty. So you can combine all this together to get, you know, the grand dispensing machine. So, but let me give y'all one extra little special treat. And also, let me just show you how this works. So I got vodka, so if I go to my items, I got vodka. It's there. If I get beer, there's the beer. I got it. So let me show you one extra little thing. Okay, so now the gumball machine is actually going to give me a gumball, but the color of the gumball is going to be the actual color. So green. If it's blue, it's blue. And red. See? So, how I did that, once again, just using everything that I've taught before, we can change, in case you didn't know, for the control character calls, like how it shows the variable, you can nest them within each other. So like, /C is changing the color of whatever, and then I'm gonna move that over, and then I put /variable5 in here, so this way it's gonna change the color based upon the number of the variable, which, to get the color index, there's this index here, which you can find this in the system folder of your project. It's just the color index, and it works the same way that arrays do, so like this, the white one is 0, this blue would be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc, etc. But if you're ever wondering, like, oh, I want the blue color, just like click on it, and so like that one was 23. So that's where you get the number that you need for the color. And so I do the same thing here with this code. where once it gets the string, once it gets the string and it puts that in here, it's going to get the case, and then it's going to set variable 5 equal to whatever number I need it to be for that specific color. And then there you go. So that's just another way that you can use them. Once again, there's a whole multitude of ways that you can use this kind of stuff. Just kind of like be curious, think about how you would use it. But yeah, that's all I have for today. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If there's anything specific you would like to see or have done, let me know and I'll see if I can get it worked on. But I'll try and get one of these out every week. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope it helped, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!